This is the skinny fat solution for short guys. I'm short. I'm 5'7" or 170 centimeters, and I went from being skinny fat to jacked. Along the way, I learned that there are unique problems that short, skinny fat guys face when transforming their physique that you need to know how to solve. The first problem is that short people tend to have lower maintenance calories. And when you burn less calories at rest, it means you're more prone to gaining fat because it's easier to eat above your maintenance calories. That's in comparison to taller people who tend to have higher maintenance calories. If you have a friend that just seems to eat whatever they want and not get fat, chances are they're probably tall. And the reason is because their maintenance calories is just, on average, higher. They say that the average male burns around 2,500 calories every day. And so if the average male ate 2,400 calories every day, meaning they're in a 100 calorie deficit, then the average male would lose weight. But unfortunately, if you're short, chances are that your maintenance calories is probably on the lower end of the average. So you're looking at around 2,000 to maybe 2,200 calories. And if you were to eat that same 2,400 calories, you would actually be putting on weight. So now we all know that you have to be in a caloric deficit to lose fat. And as a skinny fat person, you should be aiming to be in a deficit. And that would be a heck of a lot easier if you were burning more calories every day, wouldn't it? So there are two things that you can do. The first thing is to increase your maintenance calories by adding more muscle to your frame. Now, obviously that's easier said than done, but people that have higher muscle mass burn more calories at rest. And it means that if you have more muscle, it's easier to lose fat and stay lean because you're burning more calories by doing nothing. The second way is just by increasing your general movement from day to day. So that includes things like just going for a walk, even making a conscious effort to do more cardio so that you're burning more calories every day is another thing that greatly assisted me in the process of going from skinny fat to a lot leaner. And if you implement those two ways of increasing the general amount of calories that you're burning every day, then of course it's going to be a lot easier to maintain a caloric deficit, which will allow you to lose fat. The second problem is that shorter people tend to naturally have less muscle. When you're shorter, you generally have shorter limbs, which means that there is physically less space on your bones that muscle can attach to. So naturally, you're just going to have less muscle than a person that's taller with longer limbs might have. Having less muscle naturally on your frame affects you in two ways. The first is what I was talking about before, is that your maintenance calories is generally just lower. The second thing is that having low muscle mass is a hallmark of the skinny fat physique, where you have high levels of fat and low levels of muscle. Now again, the fix to this is very simple. You need to go to the gym, lift weights, and apply all of the training concepts like progressive overload, consistency, and training to failure to build muscle, which will take you away from the skinny fat physique towards a more muscular, jacked physique. If you're completely new to training, I have a free training program for beginners, which you can access in the description below. But training is just one aspect of the equation. The other, more significant aspect is your nutrition and how you should be eating. A lot of people say that in order to build muscle, you have to be bulking, which means eating over your maintenance calories. But the fact is, and I've experienced this firsthand, that you don't need to be in a caloric surplus or bulking to build muscle, especially as a beginner. Now, I recommend cutting if you are skinny fat, especially because of the next problem, problem 3, which is short people have less total surface area on their body to distribute fat. When you're short, you just have less area on your body to store fat, which means that all the fat that you do store looks comparatively a lot worse on your physique than it would a tall person. So let's just say that you're holding in total 20 kilograms of fat and you're 170 centimeters. Because there's just less area on your body to store that 20 kilos of fat, you're going to appear fatter than the tall person. Let's say they're 6 foot that holds 20 kilos of fat as well. Because the 6 foot person has just so much more area on their body to distribute that fat, they appear less fat. I was talking before about how I recommend cutting over bulking if you are skinny fat. The problem with bulking if you are skinny fat is that you're just going to get even fatter. You might put on muscle if you're training, but you're also going to put on a lot more fat. And that fat gain is exacerbated by the fact that you have less body area to distribute that fat. So by putting on even more kilos of fat than you already have, you might begin to get demotivated and you're not achieving the jacked, lean physique that you actually always wanted. Think about it this way as well. If you started putting in effort to try and change your physique from skinny fat to lean and muscular, and you decided to bulk, you would be getting fatter, which is the complete opposite to your lean, muscular physique goal. And if you were putting in all this effort through training and trying to eat more food, and instead of getting lean and muscular, you just got fatter, then you're going to become so demotivated because all the effort that you're putting in seemingly has no results. That's compared to if you cut it and you would see yourself getting leaner over time and you could see the results of the effort that you were putting in at the gym and in your nutrition. And because you were getting that positive feedback, you're more likely to continue on with those good habits that are going to progress you over the long run to the lean, muscular physique. So, especially because you have less total area on your body to distribute fat, I would highly recommend that you cut instead of bulk. Now, this video so far has kind of just been a bit depressing if you're short, but rest assured that there are some benefits to being short when it comes to transforming your physique from skinny fat to lean and muscular. The first benefit is that the same way that fat has less area to be distributed on your body, any muscle that you build will become more apparent on your body because there's less surface area for it to be distributed. So it makes you seem like you're more muscular than you actually are because you've just got less body area to distribute that muscle over. Again, if you had 20 kilos of muscle on your frame, you would appear a lot more muscular than a really tall person with 20 kilos of muscle on their frame would as well. Compared to my friends, I appear more jacked, more muscular than them, even though they lift heavier weights than me at the gym. So it just goes to show that being short is actually better for aesthetics when it comes to looking more muscular. The second benefit is that because you have shorter limbs, that's actually better for muscle growth. Shorter limbs means whenever you're doing an exercise, you have to move the weight less distance compared to people with longer limbs. That means that you can get stronger on the weights that you're lifting a lot quicker. And getting stronger is good for hypertrophy because you're able to maximize the amount of mechanical tension you're placing your muscles under. So mechanical tension is essentially just the level of strain that you're placing your muscles under when lifting. And if you can lift heavier weights, it means you're putting your muscles under heavier strain, which means you're increasing mechanical tension, which is the driver for muscle hypertrophy. And because of your shorter limbs, you're going to be much more able to progress quickly on the weights you're using. So that's great for hypertrophy. So hopefully that's assisted you. If you learned anything, please consider subscribing. We're getting to 5K subs soon, and I'll see you in the next one.